I hope you don't lose yourself while trying to be everything for everyone else. Built to hold, never to be held. I barely noticed how tight my shoulders had become until I finally sat down. Exhaustion had settled into my body like a dull, unrelenting hum, pressing against my temples and winding itself around my ribs. It lived in the spaces between my breaths, in the stiffness of my fingers, in the way my jaw clenched even when I wasn't speaking. When I caught my reflection in the hallway mirror, I almost didn't recognize the person staring back. Dark circles smudged beneath my eyes, my gaze heavy with the kind of tiredness that sleep could never fix. I looked like someone who had been running for too long without ever stopping. "You're home late again," a voice called from the living room. I turned and found my older cousin sprawled across the couch, her long black hair tied into a low ponytail. She was wrapped in an oversized hoodie and sweatpants, looking completely at ease, comfortable in a way I hadn't felt in years. "Yeah," I muttered, dropping my bag by the door. "Had a lot to do." She studied me for a moment, then patted the space beside her. "Come sit. You look like you're running on fumes." I hesitated. There was still so much left undone. Emails waiting, messages unanswered, tasks stacked like dominoes in my mind, threatening to topple the second I let my guard down. But something in the way she looked at me made me pause. So I walked over and sank into the couch. The cushions felt too soft, too forgiving, like they were trying to absorb some of my weariness. "You know," she started, her voice quiet and careful, "I've been watching you these past few months. You don't stop, do you?" I let out a breathless, humorless chuckle. "I can't afford to." She turned to face me, tucking one leg under the other. "Who told you that?" I frowned. "What do you mean?" "Who told you that you have to be everything for everyone?" she asked, her voice dipping into something gentler. "That you have to be the strong one, the reliable one, the one who never asks for help?" I opened my mouth, then closed it again. No one had ever said it outright. There was no defining moment, no single conversation that cemented it into my bones. And yet, somehow, I had convinced myself it was true. If I wasn't the one holding everything together, it would all fall apart. For as long as I could remember, I had been the person people turned to. The steady hands, the patient listener, the quiet fixer. If something broke, I picked up the pieces. If someone needed saving, I arrived before they even realized they needed help. I carried their worries, their fears, their grief, until my own skin became paper-thin beneath the weight of it all. At first, it felt good to be needed, but over time, I became less of a person and more of a function. A lifeline. A pillar that wasn't allowed to crack. I had stitched myself so seamlessly into other people's lives that somewhere along the way, I lost track of where they ended and I began. I stopped asking myself what I wanted, what I needed, because there was never time. My voice had been drowned beneath the never-ending demands of responsibility, my own desires set aside in favor of everyone else's. The thought of resting felt selfish. The thought of stopping felt like betrayal. But if my entire existence revolved around holding up the people around me, when would it ever be my turn to be held? "You deserve to rest too," my cousin murmured, as if reading my thoughts. To exist for yourself. To want things just because you do, not because someone else needs you to. But if I stop, my throat tightened. Things will fall apart. She tilted her head, watching me carefully. "And if you break," she asked, quiet but firm, "then what? Who's going to pick up the pieces?" I swallowed hard, staring down at my hands. I had been running on empty for so long that the idea of stopping felt unnatural, terrifying even. Like if I let go, truly let go, everything I had spent years holding together would shatter, and I wouldn't know how to put it back. My cousin sighed, then picked up the remote and flipped through channels until she landed on a random cooking show. "Breathe," she said. "Slow down. Just for tonight." I exhaled shakily. The world wouldn't stop turning if I took a moment to rest. The emails, the deadlines, the expectations, they would all still be there tomorrow. But tonight, for the first time in a long while, I let myself be something other than what everyone needed me to be. Just for a little while. And for the first time, it felt like enough.